Yo, what's up everybody? Jumping here. Today I'm going to be showing you guys my human Vanguard build for Mass Effect Andromeda. I'm going to be showing you guys a combo build that you can do with him that's actually extremely effective, and it also is really fun to play. I'm also going to be talking about how you can do another build with him if you want to try that. Most people already know about the melee build. It's very common and it is really good, but I wanted to do something a little bit different for my human Vanguard to actually show alternative ways that you can play him and make him extremely powerful still. Now, if you guys don't know, BioWare has said that they will be buffing combos in the future. And pretty soon here, they're going to be doing a live stream, and they're going to be talking about some of the balance changes that they will be doing. A patch will be coming sometime soon. So hopefully they will buff the combos, and if they do, this guy will be extremely powerful because he can set up a bunch of combos and detonate a bunch of combos. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and get started with the build. Now, starting with the weapon, I would recommend the Equalizer. This is a fantastic gun. You never have to worry about getting ammo, and also this thing is really good at setting up combos if you're using an ammo consumable. So if you want to get fire combos or tech combos, you can actually do that really easily with this gun. Now, besides the Equalizer, I would also recommend the Hurricane and also the Talon, which is extremely powerful. Now, for the equipment, I definitely would recommend boosting your power damage just so that you can actually hit a little bit harder. Now, the thing about it, though, is that they will be actually buffing the equipment. That is something they also said, that they are going to go ahead and buff all the equipment and make it almost as good as the Juggernaut shield. Because right now, the Juggernaut shield is amazing, and all the other equipment is really not that great. Now, when it comes to the consumable, I would definitely say you really want to use a power efficiency if you have them, because you want that recharge speed. It's kind of a bummer if you do not have power efficiency. Your recharge is okay, but it's really not what you would want it to be. So if you can actually buff your recharge, it's really, really nice. Also, I would recommend maybe an ammo type like fire ammo, because then if you're shooting enemies as well, you're setting off fire combos, and it's really, really awesome. Now, moving on to the build, the first one I'm going to be showing you guys is the power combo build, but I'll also go ahead and show you guys a double Nova build that you can do, and both of the builds are really good, but I think the power combo one has the most potential because if they buff the combos, this will be an extremely good build and it will wreck everything. So let's go ahead and get started. Now for charge, I go for radius. I like it a lot. It does stun multiple enemies and it's really, really nice. But my friends were telling me that if you have radius on charge, you can actually detonate multiple combos. Now I'm not too sure about that because I was doing some testing and I really don't feel like it can. But if it can, it is amazing. You do want to do it because you will be setting up multiple combos, and then theoretically you can actually be detonating multiple combos, which is really, really nice. But if you cannot detonate multiple combos, your forcing damage might be just a little bit better because it will buff the damage and it's nice. Moving on, definitely go for power synergy. This is a power build, so after you charge, you have 5 seconds to actually have more power damage, and that's going to help a lot. And finally, go for Bastion. It's going to give you damage resistance, it's going to fully restore your shields, and it's going to buff the damage of charge. So that's really, really good. Now moving on to Nova, I go for force and damage, but if they do buff the combos and the combos become really powerful like they were in Mass Effect 3, 100% go for radius, because once you have the radius, you can set up more targets to actually go ahead and blow them up. So I definitely think radius will be better if the combos are really powerful, but right now, being that the combos are really weak, definitely force and damage. If you're fighting against a lot of outlaws, anti-armor is really good, but if you are playing like random, which is something that they're going to try to promote by making it so that hopefully we will get more money and more experience by playing random, definitely go for anti-shield. When it comes to other enemy types or the Remnant or the Kef, they have a lot of shields, where really only the outlaw has a lot of armor. So definitely if they come out with the patch and there's a motivation to play random, you want anti-shield. If you're just playing against outlaws a lot, go for anti-armor. And the final one is just going to pretty much prime the enemies for explosions. This is a really amazing thing. This will prime everything but shielded targets. That's the only thing, which is a little bit weird. But when you're talking about armored targets, you can actually prime them with Nova. So that's actually really cool, because at first when you read this, you think that it's only going to prime the basic enemies with health bars. No, you can actually prime armored targets, so I really like it a lot. It also will improve the damage and the force of Nova. Moving on to Shockwave, this is one of the best powers in the game. It really is. It's such an amazing power for detonating combos. Once again, I go for damage and force just to improve the damage. But if the combos are really strong in the future, definitely go for radius. This is going to make it have 3-meter radius, and in my opinion, that's much, much better because with this power, you can prime and you can detonate. So this is going to be really good with radius. But for now, leave it with force and damage. Moving on, definitely go for recharge speed. You want it, you need it. Now for other builds, I think reach is great, but for this build, you're going to be charging in point blank. You really don't need reach, so go for the recharge speed instead. And the final one is going to be lifting Shockwave, which is going to set them up for combos. Now this will set up everything. Armor targets, shielded targets, it does not matter what it is. You will set them up for combos. So with this build, you have 2 primers and 2 detonators. So it flows really nice together. Now for the Apex training, you want all power damage. So first power damage, and then go for this. It really doesn't matter much. You really just want the headshot damage, if anything. I don't really go for the hover stuff because it's fucking pointless and stupid. The spare ammo is also nice, but the final one is really good. It's going to give you 15% more power damage, 30% more force, and 20% more recharge speed, which is something that this build really, really needs. And then finally, 1 point into barrier, and that's all you're going to do. Now for the double Nova build, if you're interested in that, it's pretty much all the same. The only real difference is that you will not go for Shockwave at all, and instead you're going to go for the shield cost penalty for Nova, so that you can go ahead and just remove your shields to use Nova. And then the final thing is going to be, you're going to go for your barrier. First thing in barrier, I normally would recommend maybe the health regeneration because that is really nice, and the shield regeneration is also pretty good. But if you want to, you can go for the maximum shields. With Nova, you're going to be stripping your shield slot, so it really doesn't matter how much shields you have. So I just think that the health regeneration one is a little bit better. And then this is important. This is the main power that's going to really make the double Nova build work. It's going to lower the cost of Nova to 90%. So when you do the first Nova, you'll have just a little bit of shields left. So you will charge in Nova, Nova, and by the time you get done doing that, your charge should be almost ready to go. Now for the double Nova build, you also really want to use a power efficiency consumable, and if you have one, you should be able to charge immediately after doing double Nova, and you can just keep doing that. So he becomes a Nova guard just like in Mass Effect 3. Now the final one is going to be saving barrier because it's really, really good. One of the best perks in the entire game. Now the Nova build, in my opinion, is a lot harder to play because the chance of you dying is a lot higher. There's a lot of things that can happen that can fuck you over. But when it comes to the power build, it's really easy to stay alive because you will always have your shields because you have Bastion, you have some damage resistance, you're going to be stunning the fuck out of the enemies. You charge them, it will stun them, you Nova, it will stun them, you Shockwave, it will stun them. So it's really easy to not die. Sometimes you'll just randomly die from like, I don't know, Hydra fucking missiles or something, but that's about it. Normally, you really shouldn't have too much trouble staying alive. But with the double Nova build, sometimes you're going to die just because you're constantly lowering your shields and you're going to be getting dropped. But both of the builds are really effective, but I just think that the power combo build has more potential because they've already said they will be buffing combos, and I'm really, really excited for that. Alrighty guys, so now I'm going to show you guys the gameplay, and in the gameplay, we're going to be doing a ton of combos, and it's really, really awesome. Alrighty guys, well this is going to be the gameplay, and it's going to be on this map Paradox, which I haven't shown yet, but they finally added it into the rotation, which was really fucking stupid that they didn't have it in here for so long, although you could play it in some of the Apex missions, so I'm really glad they went ahead and added it in, so that's pretty fucking cool. Now there's actually a couple things I wanted to talk about with this patch that will be coming out somewhat in the near future. I don't know when yet because BioWare said that they're going to live stream today, and they probably have already live streamed, but I'm recording this the day before, so I'll be releasing this video tomorrow, and the live stream will be happening that day. So I have no idea what they're going to do, but even if you watch the live stream, you're probably not going to know exactly what's going to happen. And what I mean is, obviously they can say we're going to buff combos, we're going to buff weapons, we're going to nerf some enemies or something like that, but you don't know exactly. They're not going to say we're going to do it by this percentage and it's going to increase the damage of this weapon or whatever. We don't know exactly what's going to happen until the patch will probably come out, and then we'll know for sure what has happened to the game. But I am really excited about the patch. They need to be patching this game as much as fucking possible to try to fix all these issues, especially with like crashing and I don't know, lag and stuff like that. Those are like the main thing, because people always bitch about that they really get annoyed that they crash on wave 7. They can also go ahead and fix some of these glitches, because I know they don't like the glitches. So if you don't like the glitches, fix the fucking glitches, but don't like threaten to ban everybody for using them. When really a lot of the glitches, like at least the ammo glitch, in my personal opinion, I don't really think it's a big fucking deal. I mean, if you don't like it, then patch it. If people use it until then, well then they use it. Unfortunately, you know, that's just the way it is. You fucked up with your game, so fix the fucking problems. And if there's any other problems in the game, like the level up glitch or something, fix that too. If you don't like that, fix it, man. I mean, it's just really simple. But yeah, that's really all I want to say right now, because I don't want to like talk the whole video about what I want them to do with the patch. I guess I should probably save that until after they already say what they're gonna do, because then maybe I can talk about what I would like them to actually do with what they say they're gonna do. But at the same time, maybe by the time I release the next video, maybe the patch will actually either not be out, or maybe it's already out and I can talk about what they actually did. I just know that I need to talk about this Human Vanguard, because if they do buff combos, this guy will be a monster. He's already really good, obviously. A lot of people play the Human Vanguard for the melee build, but the power build is good, especially if you can play with a group of people who can also do combos. One of the best people you can play with this build is going to be someone with Flamethrower. Well, there's only one person with Flamethrower, and that's the Krogan Mercenary. And that's a build that I really do want to do, because I really like the Krogan Mercenary a lot. He's a lot of fun to play, and the Flamethrower is fucking awesome. But the main thing is that you can get a crazy amount of fire explosions. Now, earlier in the build portion of this video, I actually said I wasn't too sure if charge can detonate multiple combos. Well, I watched this gameplay, and when I was watching it just now, I realized, oh shit, it can. Because if you watch the gameplay, you will see sometimes I will detonate multiple combos. And that is actually really awesome. So obviously I would say you always want radius on charge, because with Nova you can set up multiple explosions, and with Shockwave you can set up multiple explosions for yourself. So you don't have to have a team to make this work, but if you have a team, it's even better. Like someone with overload for the tech stuff, someone with biotics, or I don't know. We have a human adept in this gameplay with Singularity and Shockwave, which was really fucking good, but obviously someone with Annihilation would also be really good. You know, there's a lot of options, but I also think that that fucking human engineer with the cryo would be amazing. And like I said before, the Krogan Mercenary is fucking awesome. Shockwave is just a beast of a power. It was always really good in Mass Effect 3 for the same reason. It can detonate multiple combos, and it had like some nice utility to it. But in this game, I think it's actually better. It's one of those few powers that I feel like it's better in this game than it was in Mass Effect 3. Now the recharge fucking sucks like everything else, and that's something I really hope that they will address and make the recharge like less, because it's fucking bullshit that every power takes forever to recharge. But besides that, like the fact that you can set up combos and it can detonate multiple combos, it is an amazing power. There's no doubt about it. And Nova, of course, is fucking awesome. It does a good amount of damage. It's one of the few powers that actually does a decent amount of damage in this game, and it can set up combos. The biggest downside in Nova, though, is that you cannot set up combos on shielded targets, which doesn't really make much sense. Earlier in the build portion of the video, I was talking about how you fight against outlaws. The anti-armor on Nova is really good. Well, the anti-shield is just a little bit better, especially if you're gonna fight against other factions, or if you're gonna play on random or something like that. And the reason why I say that is because if you have the anti-shield, more than likely you're going to take off the shield with one Nova, and you'll set them up for the explosion immediately after. So yeah, that is something I think is just a little bit better for the explosions. And if the explosions are stronger with like a patch or something, what's going to happen is the explosion should probably kill the enemy. So you strip the shield, you set them up, and you blow them up, and hopefully that explosion will actually kill that enemy that had that shield, like a sharpshooter or something. Now, a couple things about this build, let me just quickly talk about it. The main way I like to play him is I like to normally Nova first, then charge, then Shockwave, and then charge. And you can also, like, of course, Nova and then Shockwave, and if you do that, you can detonate combos with Shockwave, or you can set them up with Shockwave. But I like to try to detonate as many combos as possible. So if you see me playing this build, you normally will see me doing Nova first. Now, unfortunately, with charge, you get a damage bonus for your power every time you charge. But unless you're using the other version of charge, which will not give you all your shields back, it won't give you the damage resistance. If you're using the recharge speed on that, then you could probably get away with like charging Nova and then like maybe charging again, or maybe you can do like charge, Nova, Shockwave, charge, something like that. But currently with the recharge speed and stuff, I just personally like to Nova first, then charge, and then Shockwave. And if you're playing with other people who have other things that you can detonate, it actually works out really nicely. Like you will see so many explosions happening all the time. And if everyone's like having powers that can set up, then when you use a Shockwave, you're going to literally detonate everything and you're going to set them up for a biotic explosion. So there is like a lot of utility to this build, and I think that it's really fun. Also, if you're playing on any map where there's cliffs and stuff, anytime that you Shockwave an enemy near a cliff or you Nova the enemy, they're going to go flying the fuck off. And most of the time you'll see that. You'll see me hit an enemy and then I just kind of like walk away. I'm doing that because I'm pretty confident they're probably going to fall off the map. And there's no reason for me to waste my time and try to like make sure that they die, because I just feel like they're probably going to die anyway. Now the double Nova build with this is also really good, but I said before, the biggest downside to the double Nova build is that you can die a lot. It does happen because you're removing your shields and you're getting shot. Now, the best thing about it is that most enemies will die from 2 Novas. So if you can actually do it right, where you charge and then you Nova, most enemies are going to die. But sometimes enemies will shoot you from like further away and stuff, and that can get you fucked. So just understand all that. And with this build, in my opinion, it's a lot easier to stay alive. But I think Bastion is a big part of that. The fact that you can get all your shields back, and also you can go ahead and get that damage resistance. It really does help. But if you guys in the future want to try this out, you can try recharge speed on charge. That is something that you can change with this build. And my main thing I want to say is that if they do buff the combos, definitely go for the radius on most of these powers. And I say that primarily because like Nova, there's going to be multiple times throughout this gameplay where you might see me Nova and I miss. Where if I had the radius, I don't think I would. I mean, this Nova with radius is insane. The radius is like 7 meters or something like that, which is fucking huge. So yeah, it's pretty fucking awesome. Now that's pretty much it. Like I said, that's the way I like to play it. Normally I like to either charge first and then Nova, then Shockwave, or maybe I like to Nova first and then charge and then Shockwave and then charge. There's a lot of different combos you can do with it, but you always want to make sure that you have some type of flow to it. Now, let me go ahead and talk about what I want to see from this patch, because I've heard a lot of things. Now, some of these things I've heard from friends, so maybe people are bullshitting with me. I'm not exactly sure, but I don't think so. I think they wouldn't lie to me, because I don't really pay attention. Like, I'm not going to watch the live stream from BioWare because I'm not interested in watching these scrubs play on fucking bronze and knowing that that's how they probably test all their fucking shit. But the thing is that I will actually be reading over like the live stream and seeing what they said, what they're going to do, because I said this earlier and it's the truth. Like, even if they say, yeah, we're going to buff the weapons, we're going to buff the combos, we're going to make the equipment better, or whatever they might say, it doesn't really mean anything because we don't know exactly the numbers on it. Maybe they'll buff the combos by like 5%, and if they do, then guess what? The combos are still going to fucking suck dick, and it's not even worth it at that point. But I doubt it. I do think they will actually try a little bit to make the combos a lot better, because that's a big complaint. It's not just me. I said that initially, like really early on. I said the combos fucking suck, and this is kind of like sad on how weak these combos are. And some people actually were like acting like I was crazy, but you know, I mean, I think I was right. I think the combo sucks, and now a lot of people, they agree with me. They repeat the same thing. They say, yeah, these fucking combos suck donkey dick and they need to be buffed. Now, if you have a lot of combos, like I've shown in some videos on how like you can do a ton of combos and it does actually work really well on gold, and you can pretty much like just do that. But just understand that you have to have a team for that, and you're not going to be able to probably do that with randoms, and most people play with randoms and stuff, so it's just not good. And when you're playing like by yourself and you're just relying on yourself to do combos, like most people, if you're going to play with this build, for example, you're going to be doing your own combos. You're not going to be like having other people detonate your combos all the time for you. So you need to be able to do your own stuff. And when your combos are just really fucking weak, it's just not worth it, because you have to use 2 fucking powers. Like if you're using like Cryo Beam and then Overload just to get a really weak combo, like what's the fucking point, you know? It's just fucking stupid. So like I said, hopefully they will actually do a really good job with this patch. I really want them to. I want this game to be a lot better. I want them to fix the problems with crashing. That's fucking for sure. They really need to fix that, because that's all I hear about all the time. and I have people always crash on me. I've crashed too, but it's not nearly as much as a lot of people, but I'm always generally the host of the match, and I feel like if you're the host of the match, you're less likely to crash. It still happens sometimes, but it seems like it's a lot more rare. But if you are not the host of the match, and especially if you're playing with randoms and stuff, you crash all the fucking time. I know people that have said they've lost like at least 1 million or maybe even like 2 million credits due to crashing on gold. And a lot of times when they crash like around the end of the match and not right away at the start of the match. And this is something they need to address as soon as possible. And another thing that they actually did say that they were thinking about doing, at least this is what I was told by like a couple of my friends, that this is what they said, but I'm not sure exactly because I didn't hear it from their mouth. But the point is that I heard that they did say something about equipment, that they want to make the equipment as good as the Juggernaut shield. Now hopefully that means that they'll buff the equipment, but that could mean maybe they will nerf the Juggernaut shield. Wouldn't that be some bullshit? But that would be like a BioWare move, you know, like, you know, that Juggernaut shield is really fucking good. And now we have these other equipments and they kind of suck in comparison to that Juggernaut shield, so why don't we just nerf the Juggernaut shield? And yeah, fuck the equipment. Yeah, they suck. We don't give a fuck. Everything sucks. That's what we do. We are the best at making everything fucking suck. So hopefully it's the opposite. Like, instead of just 15% more damage for your powers, maybe we can get like 20% more damage and 20% more recharge speed. That would be fucking awesome. Or maybe even 25%. That would be even better. And for your weapons, instead of 10%, maybe 20% or 25%. That would be fucking amazing. Please, BioWare, do these things. I would be like so happy if you did. And I'm trying to think, is there anything else? I personally feel like some of the enemies should be like a little bit nerfed. I mean, one thing that I've heard a lot of people say, and I kind of agree with it. I mean, I kind of felt this way about Mass Effect 3 as well, which is instant kills are fucking stupid, man. They just are. Like, a lot of times it's really random, and that's one of the big problems that a lot of people have, especially people I talk to from Europe. They always tell me that when they're playing, especially with Americans, what will happen against like the Calf on gold, a fiend will just like magically like spawn across the map. Like, you see him a mile away, and all of a sudden he's in your face and he's grabbing you. Or the Ascendant is doing that, and now you're dead, and now your team might fail. It's like, dude, that is some fucking cheese. So of course they should fix that connection issue, but they also could make it so that the fiends can't just take you out of the match. Why not just make it like the Hydra? Like, the Hydra I think is pretty balanced. Yes, they can grab you and that will kill you, but it's not going to take you out of the match. So if they would like change that, I think a lot of people would be definitely more down to play against the Calf, because right now the instant kills are really annoying when they happen and people don't like that. And also, if they do the random thing, then hell yeah, I want to play against the Calf. And if you guys don't know, the Ascendant's orb has more health than the Ascendant. That's kind of cheesy too. Maybe make it so that when you destroy the orb, the shields stay down a little bit longer with the Ascendant. And also, maybe lower the health of the orb somewhat, because it is kind of cheese that the orb has more fucking health than the goddamn fucking Ascendant himself. That is a bunch of bullshit. And that's pretty much it when it comes to like the main things I want to see. We'll see what they say tomorrow. Hopefully it's going to be really interesting. And then once everything actually comes out, we'll be super happy. Now, the last thing I wanted to quickly mention in this video, I moved recently. Me and my wife, we got a new apartment because we didn't really like our old apartment. The management there, it changed and they were like really shitty. So we decided to go ahead and move, and now, unfortunately, something I didn't actually even think of, the walls here echo. They echo really bad, so I might need to buy like some styrofoam or something. I have to figure something out. So right now, I've kind of like partially adjusted it, and I'm using like a sock on my mic. Yes, it's fucking ghetto as shit, I know, but it helps. It really does help. But I'm also talking a lot lower in my videos, because if I was raising my voice right now, you would hear this massive echo in the video, and it's like fucking really annoying, at least to me. So let me know about that, guys, because I just wanted to let everybody know. If you're wondering like what's wrong with Jumping, is he fucking high? Why is he talking so low, or why does his voice sound like that? That is the reason why, is because I recently moved and I like this apartment a lot, and I definitely like the management here a lot. Unfortunately, the walls fucking echo. Alrighty guys, well that's gonna pretty much do it for the video. I really hope that you have enjoyed it and that it has helped. If it has, will you please like the video for me? Be sure to subscribe for future videos, and I really do hope that everyone has a very nice day and peace.
Yes, you can! Just do it! If you're tired of starting over, stop giving up.